Hey guys, here we are gonna look at a couple of the fouls and stuff that go on in the 8th round that kind of shape the way a lot of people see the fight. We're gonna kind of take a little bit better of a look at some of the low blows. I don't have the best scenes and the best angles of it. You know, HBO did a good job of showing that they did wind up being low, but I will talk about and break down what I do have and show just a couple of things that go on during the course of the fight. So, or in the 8th round. So this is actually just before the right hand that hurts Kovalev. As you see right here, feinting, he jabs to the body, and off the jab to the body, Andre Ward smartly comes in, right? But unfortunately, he comes in with his head, as you see right here, comes crashing into Kovalev's head after parrying the jab. And if you hear the sound of that shot, holy shit, it sounds exactly like a punch. And he just crashes into him. And you know, that might have hurt him. You know, who knows? It's extremely hard to tell. But he just crashes into him with his head. And this was actually right after Kovalev landed his own body shots. Kovalev had Ward tried to come in, and Kovalev stayed in an athletic posture rather than turning sideways and standing straight up and trying to lock Ward up. But he started punching with Ward on the inside and landed some great shots. And I kind of think that at this point, because he'd done that also in the 7th round, and the tide might have been turning a little bit. As he was starting to easily get not easily, you know, but he was starting to more clearly get the better of the inside fighting. And there you see a low blow and then another low blow right after. I'm not sure if the first one was, though. Let's see. So he comes in, crashes with his head. I can't see that low blow or that punch. I'm not sure. But that's a low blow, 100%. That's a low blow as well. You know, that one's like closer to the belt line, right? And Kovalev goes down. Now in this clip, I wanted to talk about, like, everyone in the comment section is saying, you know, the people that are defending Ward saying that his you can't see the belly button, so you can't tell, and this and that. This is right after that exchange. You know, like, look at the timestamp on the round, 145, right? And now he comes up and they break him. They're like, okay, fight. There's a little black dot that you can see. That's Kovalev's belly button. You can see it clearly in this clip. It's there. That's his belly button. And that's showing that his trunks are not too high. You know, they're perfect. They're exactly where they need to be. You know, Andre Ward's are a little high too, but we don't have to worry about that. But his trunks are not too high. You can see his belly button. And this is moments before. This is just 1 minute before, if you look at the timestamp, 128. And by the end of the round, when he gets him on the ropes, we're going to look at these clips. His trunks are not high, right? Just a second ago, we just saw that his belly button was visible. So actually, let's go back and break these down and take a look. So the first thing I want you to notice, right, and this is really interesting. When I was watching the Amir Khan versus Zab Judah fight, that fight was also, in my opinion, ended over a low blow, not a body shot. You can clearly see Zab Judah's cup raise when he gets hit in the nuts, and his trunks move, and that's the indication, you know, that there was a low blow there, not a real punch, and the fight ends. But here you've got Ward ducking down, and when he hits him, you can see the trunks move. You know, maybe not in my shitty quality video, but you see the trunks move, and especially on that last punch. And this is the last punch is the one that's the clearest, right? HBO shows that that's the last punch in the sequence, and you can clearly see that one lands way below the belt. But these are not the best video clips. But right here, you can see clearly that the first one actually is low. You can see that it lands basically on the Hublot sponsor logo. You can see right there that his trunks move up when he gets hit. If you look at his trunks, very clearly, his trunks are coming up and then going back down. That's the only punch right there, that second one, that you can't super clearly see. But I think I saw another angle of that same punch earlier in the night when I wasn't recording. and you can see that that one's low as well. But again, his trunks are moving when he's getting hit. Let's go ahead and take a look. I think I have a, okay. So the first shot, boom, and you see his trunks move very clearly low. Now let's see where this one goes. Well, his arm is covering the part of his body that would be scoring, and it doesn't look, I don't know, it's tough to say on that one. But if you look at this next one, right, you can clearly see his trunks are moving. And doing slow-mo in this is a fruitless endeavor. It just makes it actually more difficult. But let's see. Yeah, it definitely looks low. And then you can see clearly that the shot is landing and it's hitting his shorts, right? You can see his shorts moving. And that's the third punch, the one that we already looked at. And you can kind of tell that these are all low blows. You know, there was definitely a series of fouls in the last round. You know, that definitely put an asterisk over the course of the rest of the fight, you know. The right hand that really hurt Kovalev, you know, I think that if it weren't for the fouls, he still would have been able to time and figure that right hand out. I know there's some people are saying that because the low blows and stuff came first, that there's a chance that that might be the case. God, man, look at those. Brutal. But I think that because of the way that Andre Ward was controlling the range with his jab, and he did a great job with that, he wasn't allowing Kovalev to set up his punches as much, so Kovalev was getting complacent with them. He was expecting Ward to kind of dip down to the right, and when he didn't, when he took away that pattern and gave him something new, he was able to land a good shot. You know, it is extremely unfortunate that this win has to be controversial too. I'm not defending Ward. I'm not saying that that it's a clear win for him. I'm not saying that he, you know, he won this fight fairly, you know, but landing the right hand, that was fair. You know, that was a good right hand. He set it up well. But that doesn't mean that the decision is right. That doesn't mean that this is how the fight should end. It doesn't mean that this is the way that the fight should have ended, right? And I'm kind of actually expecting the Nevada State Athletic Commission to step in and say that the fight should be, you know, they should have an immediate rematch, or they should overturn it and say that it's a no contest, or maybe they even just say, hey, the fight was stopped. We'll go to the scorecards. And in that case, Andre Ward wins a controversial 8th round eighth round points win, because the fight will be stopped. And I'm not sure exactly what they're going to do, but I do think that something should probably be done, you know. And I just want to adjust real quick. A bunch of people have unsubscribed to me already because of these videos. Whatever, you know. I don't know, like, if you guys are expecting me to just be like, oh man, fuck Andre Ward, blah blah blah. You know, it's unfortunate. Yeah, you know, was it intentional? It's hard to say. You know, was he actively trying not to hit him low? No, definitely not, right? But whether it was intentional or not is hard to say. You know, there is a scene, you know, earlier, right? So he comes in with the head. That's not cool, right? And now he's got his glove on top of his head, and he takes a low blow, right? I don't know. Doesn't seem super intentional to me. Aside from the headbutt, you know, that's pretty blatant. But I'm not going to say that this, you know, it's not right what happened to Kovalev. I don't agree with it. But it's also, there was a lot of good boxing in the fight too. There were a lot of good things. There were a lot of things to enjoy, you know. And if you guys are watching boxing because of the outcome, right? If that's all you cared about was that Kovalev won, and you guys think that I'm, you know, shitty or biased, or I'm not calling it straight because of the part of the fight that doesn't affect my life at all, like any of it, like the low blows. Like, it's not right. The low blows are not right, but I don't care. You know, I'm not going to be super judgmental towards Ward. It's a sport. I'm talking about not my feelings about it, but what it is. It is what it is, you know. And should there be like an overturning? Probably. You know, Tony Weeks even apologized about not noticing that they were low, and he would have done things differently if he would have realized it. So he's acknowledging that things should have been done differently. But it's not up to me to just make my videos and be like, oh, Andre Ward shouldn't be allowed to fight anymore. Andre Ward is... I don't give a shit. Okay? There was a lot of good boxing in there. There were a lot of cool things that we got to see. If you don't enjoy watching them fight and all you care about is the result of the fight and the politics of boxing, like, that's not what my fucking channel's about. I don't really give a shit. You know? It's not right that he might get away with it. That's not right. Okay? But we talk about boxing here, not politics, not Andre Ward's a scumbag. You know, nothing that Andre Ward does for the rest of his fucking life is going to affect my day in any way. Nothing Sergey Kovalev does for the rest of his life is going to affect me in any way. Okay? I don't care. It was a good fight. It's unfortunate that it's marred by fouls and whatever, and some controversy, definite controversy, but it was a good fight, and I wish that people were talking about that part too.